As a Canadian, I feel compelled to say sorry for Neil Young because he's once again just being a fucking dickhead. Okay, he's been a dickhead forever. I don't get it. Okay, oh, he's an artist. Oh, Neil Young, he's so deep in what he means. He's just a fucking jack off from the middle of the country. Just fucking die already. Cool, thanks for rocking in the free world, the rest of it, and you can just stick up your withered old ass. But he wants his music off of Spotify because he's one of the, maybe he's one of those 270 experts that signed that open letter to Spotify to take the evil Joe Rogan off of the platform. But Neil Young demands Spotify either remove his music or blacklist Joe Rogan because why? Okay, you haven't put out anything of substance in literally about 30 years at this point. It's just all been nonsense, you fucking old hippie. Just like I said, consider fucking off. How about that? Go hang out with David Crosby and just be mad at the world? Have more shitty takes? Left-wing rocker Neil Young. Rocker's a strong word. Very strong word. Have you listened to most of his output? It all sucks. It's all just plodding 60s and early 70s nonsense. Ugh, fuck. A lot of people like classic rock, and I'm a fan of music. It was well before I was born, but a lot of generic 70s rock all sounds the same, and it's all plodding fucking nonsense, just the same melodic power chords over and over and over again, and Neil Young is one of the chief offenders of this. Sorry, he just is. I'll take Alice Cooper, Wasp, Accept, Judas Priest any day of the fucking week over this fucking withered old fossil. In an open letter to his management team and record label, Young accused Spotify of spreading fake information about vaccines. Like what? Like what? Oh, Joe Rogan talked to the guy who fucking helped develop the technology used in the vaccines. He's talking about misinformation, you fucking old muttering disaster. While issuing an ultimatum between him and Joe Rogan. I am doing this because Spotify is spreading fake information about vaccines, potentially causing death to those who believe the disinformation being spread by them, he wrote. Please act on this immediately today and keep me informed of the time schedule. Yeah, this is from earlier in the week, so I really hope that Spotify was like, okay, peace out, fuck off. It's like Netflix made out with Dave Chappelle and his litany of insanity. It really looks like Spotify's sticking by Joe Rogan, which again, I'm no Joe Rogan simp. I check in on a podcast that's important every once in a while, and I don't really think his takes or his comedy is all that strong, but did nothing wrong in this situation. He just interviewed a guy, okay? He was just talking about it, and he was up on his facts at the time, and it was a very compelling conversation. Probably not even one that Young listened to. I just want to let Spotify know immediately today that I want all my music off their platform. You probably can't do that because there's also probably a contract in place. So stop spurging out for fucking woke points, you idiot. They can have Rogan or Young, not both. Okay, cool. I think they'll go with the guy who's actually producing, new content, needle moving content. It's not like they're a business or anything. Just saying. Young's letter come after 270 doctors, professors, physicians, science teachers, veterinarians, registered nurses, nurses' assistants signed an open letter demanding that Spotify boot Joe Rogan. We've already been through that extensively. As noted by Rolling Stone, Neil Young is not exactly a friend to Spotify in recent years, having previously removed most of his music from the platform in 2019. After complaining about the sound quality, he ultimately relented and let Spotify carry his music, so he's just a fucking bitch who never follows through on anything that he asks, or rather, demands for. Fuck off. That's where people get music, he said. I want people to hear my music no matter what they have to go through to do it. I'm just trying to make it so they can hear a lot more and enjoy it a lot more. You know how I best enjoy Neil Young music? I'm never playing Neil Young music, but sell it for the same price because music is music. Okay, man. I've seen a lot of old fucking burnouts from the 60s not really make it through mentally, and unfortunately, Neil Young is not among them. Spotify has not yet responded to Neil Young's letter, which was addressed to his manager Frank Gironda and Tom Corson, the co-chairman and chief operating officer of Warner Brothers. Neil Young previously banned former President Donald Trump from playing his song "Rocking in the Free World" at rallies because it's free, but not for Trump, because Orange Man bad, right? DT. That's Trump to you, fucker. Stupid Canadian. He does not have my permission to use the song Rocking in the Free World at his appearances. Young said in 2018, legally he has the right to, however it goes against my wishes. Cool. And to just show it's a two-way street, you're still alive and kicking, so that goes against my wishes. But let's talk about people who are actually supporting Joe Rogan, and just something I'd like to end the day on, because I like Dana White. Okay, my love for the UFC has waned over the years, but if there's been one person who's been at the forefront of just being the same motherfucker for the past, well, 20 years, really, it's been Dana White. This is fucking America. UFC chief Dana White blasts whiny pussies trying to cancel Joe Rogan. Yep, that's why we started with Neil Young, because he was just talking specifically about those doctors sending that open letter. And remember, we went through that group of very scholarly individuals and found that there were a couple of little noticeable deviations from the entire doctor descriptor. So we'll just put a nice little bow on that. UFC Boss Dana White came to Podcast King Joe Rogan's defense last week, who, well, actually came to his employees' defense, by the way, telling Rogan's critics that they won't be able to cancel the podcaster because he's too big for them to hurt. Yeah, that's what happens when you're, honestly, the most prominent interviewer in the world. I don't think anybody's close at this point. It's the biggest podcast that's shrunk since becoming exclusive to Spotify, but it's still the case. It's still the #1 podcast that's out there. So I don't know, man. Telling Rogan critics that they won't be able to cancel the podcast because it's too big for them to hurt, White appeared on the January 20th episode of Full Send Podcast. And about 43 minutes into the show, the host brought up Joe Rogan. White scoffed at the recent letter reportedly written by 270 doctors that demanded that Spotify remove Rogan's podcast from its service over the coronavirus misinformation Rogan had aired. Again, that was all in service to the interview that he had with Dr. Robert Malone. White noted that many of those doctors who signed the letter aren't actually doctors. What? Stealing my thunder? Come on, Dana. Well, I know they had to come out and had to say it was 250 doctors or whatever, I guess. Oh, when they started researching these people, they weren't really doctors. Yep. Indeed, look into letters signers revealed that only about 100 of them, actually it was about 80, but whatever, of them are actual MDs, and most of them are just researchers and not even really medical professionals, if we're being honest. Science professor, can you fucking believe it? The rest are teachers, nurses, and the other people in the medical field who don't have the qualifications to practice medicine. White went on to add that Joe Rogan is a brilliant guy who does his homework and won't be canceled. That's not untrue, okay? I think he's biased like everybody else, and I don't think he's as laudable as many other people think, but yeah, no, you can't deny he's a sharp guy, and you can't deny that he doesn't do his homework, okay? You're not canceling Rogan, and the thing is, with Rogan, he's a brilliant guy. He does his homework, and he knows what he's talking about, White added. And guess what? This is fucking America, and you can have your opinion about these things, and you can voice them. That's what this fucking country was built on. All these little whiny fucking pussies don't like that, and it's too fucking bad, man. Too bad. Yeah, but Dana, did you think about you made those very hurtful comments on the internet, and what about the response on Twitter? What happens if you upset people there? That could be very bad for you. Oh, it's almost like you're just going to continue to operate the only professional sports league that actually grew during 2020 and 2021. Weird. Rogan, of course, has repeatedly angered the anti-free speech left for airing his skepticism about about the government's handling of the crisis. I won't say he's skeptical about the coup. Okay, it's just how the government's gone about enforcing it, and the subsequent vaccines and the way that they were rolled out. In April of last year, for instance, Rogan infuriated leftists when he was healthy, okay, and he threw the kitchen sink at it and he recovered. I mean, it's not like that's a one-off case. Somebody else who I shit on regularly because I don't think too much about him, Tim Pool, went through the exact same thing, went through the exact same process that Rogan did, came out fine afterwards, a couple days. And then he was all fucking done and dusted with. But imagine that somebody has opinions that are contrary to what the state says, and Twitter leftists freak out. Imagine my shock, right? But nice little short videos here for Saturday, and yeah, what can you really say? Rogan was right. Dana's right. Not politically or anything like that, even though it's just, well, okay, yeah. Like you guys probably remember at the RNC, the White spoke there, and him, Henry Cejudo, Jorge Masvidal, and I think there was another fighter who was there as well, attended a bunch of Trump rallies in 2020. They're good dudes, they're solid dudes, consistent dudes, and that's what I look for in people, not like Neil Young. Well, I'm an artist, and I don't like people listening to music at subpar quality until I'm told that I have a contract. So I totally anticipate that he's definitely going to be on the fucking platform, or he's going to have all of his music, he's going to have it revoked, and then just magically, all of a sudden, it'll just come back on there because he's really strong on his principles. Hi, kids. I think a day after I recorded this video, okay, we got a little bit of an update because we have, Neil Young's music was pulled off of Spotify, lol, but apparently a lot of other people are attempting to join in on this one because they're really trying hard, and they're thinking that they can put the social justice boot on Spotify's neck on this one. And now, okay, if it wasn't transparent enough that big tech is the enforcement wing of the administration, okay, this seems fairly fucking obvious. You have the Surgeon General, Biden Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, calls on big tech to censor Joe Rogan because he's being so dangerous and he's spreading misinformation. So what started out as some fizzled out old fucking hippie throwing a hissy fit has now ratcheted up to the White House. And I don't know how this ends, but I'm not appreciating it and I'm not liking it. It's just they're just big mad because their propaganda wing, their normal propaganda wing, is severely, even in, adding everybody up, okay, is severely underperforming just your run-of-the-mill fucking hack comedian interview on Joe Rogan's podcast. Sucks to suck. Biden appointed U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy said Silicon Valley tech companies have an important role to play in preventing the spread of alleged coronavirus misinformation. His comments came during an MSNBC interview. See what's happening here? No, this isn't an official statement from the White House or from the Office of the Surgeon General. This is coming as a talking appearance on MSNBC, who, of course, toes the company line. Okay, they're all about what Biden's all about. They're all about what the administration is doing. But when it comes to alternative platforms that don't have the same restrictions, okay, because Joe Rogan doesn't answer to anybody, okay? I'm not the biggest fan, and I know I've probably already said it before in the video, but again, he speaks his mind, okay? And for the most part, he's pretty consistent on this shit, unlike your MSNBCs, unlike your CNNs, who just openly and brazenly defame Joe Rogan. Remember, he was taking horse dewormer. No, there's a clear and obvious distinction between horse paste, what CNN was saying he was taking, and what he actually took. And that's about as far as we can go on this one, because thanks big tech censorship, Murthy made the comments during an appearance on MSNBC, which host Amika Brzezinski asked Murthy what should be done about alleged misinformation from Joe Rogan and social media posts. What should be done about dissenting opinion? Can we squash it and can we send them all to the gulag already? What do you think are the best ways to push back on misinformation about COVID that continues to be aggressively pushed, whether by Joe Rogan's podcast or all over Facebook? Because they've already censored and kicked off anybody who has a dissenting opinion on Twitter. That's why I didn't bother bringing it up, you fucking fizzled out old hag. We have the best science available. Science with a TM. We can have the best public health expertise available. It won't help people if they don't have access to accurate information. And we control what is accurate information. We can't tell people exactly to think for themselves. We just tell them what to think. And that's their science. Safe and effective. Biden's appointed health official went on to urge private companies to use their power to limit the spread of alleged misinformation. Yeah, we'll just save the accent for another time. This is about companies and individuals recognizing that the only way to get past the misinformation is if we are careful about what we say. Oh yeah, cool. Freedom of speech, right? But unless somebody said something different and they want to engage in the scientific process of questioning what we have to say, we don't want that anymore. You just shut up and follow along. Fuck off. Stop asking questions. You're mean. And just snuggle with your Anthony Fauci body pillow that you got from your 78th booster shot. With an average of 11 million listeners per episode, I guess through the audio and the visual component of that, because remember when Rogan was on YouTube, when he was far more popular then. The average base Rogan episode would get, your run-of-the-mill episode would get 3 or 4 million views, but then when it added a more substantial guest, okay, like some of those Peterson episodes were 10, 20, 40 million views, okay. The Alex Jones episodes, what were they approaching before they got yeeted? 50, 60 million views? And then, of course, the audio, we don't know, okay? Only Rogan, I guess, maybe could possibly know. I don't know. I don't have a fucking podcast, but I know the audio component of some of these more prominent podcasts are multiple times more successful than just the video aspect because, well, driving and all that kind of fun stuff. It all makes sense, obviously, but I guess 11 million listeners per episode. Rogan is arguably the most popular pundit in the Western world. His audience is more than twice the most popular cable host, Tucker Carlson, who you can't trust either, by the way, who the left has always or has also tried to censor, but not so much. Not so much. CNN has kind of focused their entire ire on Joe Rogan specifically, and they have for a while, and this looks like one of those things that they aren't going to give up on because they know that they have friends, multiple friends in the White House. Now the Surgeon General is also throwing his hat into the ring on this one, so at any given time they can just decide, COVID misinformation online is just way too dangerous out there, and we're just going to need to take care of that for you, and we just gonna have to regulate that because god damn it, we need to end this pandemic and by any means necessary. But yeah, we'll just go back to the regular sign off. Okay, just needed to add that little bit of an update. So Neil Young bitched the fuck out, but it looks like more people are lining up to also levy the ultimatum to Spotify, which is predominantly a music service, and this is Sony Music. So I don't know how this one's gonna end up shaking out, so this might be something we talk about through the rest of the week. But like I said, back to that and see how many more Biden officials hop on as well. Fuck Neil Young, fuck all that hippie shit. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.